Okay, picture this. Maybe it sounds familiar. You're a quantity surveyor, you're qualified, you've got solid experience.
Hmm.
But the applications you send out, they just seem to vanish.
Hmm.
You do the CV tailoring, the cover letters, the whole 9 yards, and still nothing. Silence.
Yeah, just crickets. It's incredibly frustrating, isn't it? Feeling overlooked when you know you've got the goods.
Exactly. And if that resonates with you, well, what we're digging into today might just be a bit of a game changer.
We are. We're doing a deep dive into this thing called QS Career Catalyst. And look, it's not just, generic advice. It's aimed squarely at qualified QSs,
Mm.
the ones who feel stuck, basically,
Yeah.
going from being ignored to, well, actually in demand. And it claims to help make that shift happen pretty quickly, like within 21 days.
Right, 21 days. So our mission here is to really unpack this. What's the core problem it's trying to solve for QS professionals? And, what are the key strategies it puts forward to help land those better roles? What
Yeah.
jumped out at me straight away was this idea that maybe the issue isn't your experience level, but more about how you're sort of packaging it.
That's really the crux of it, I think. You could have managed huge projects, millions of pounds worth.
Hmm?
But if your CV just lists duties, like managed costs,
Right.
well, so what? Where's the value?
Right. The impact. Did you save money? Did you handle risk effectively?
Exactly. And this catalyst seems to zone in on that gap, the gap between having the skill and showing the skill. It talks about that pain point, sending out like dozens of applications
Uh-huh.
and hearing nothing back, or getting interviews that feel more like an interrogation than a proper chat about your value.
Okay, so let's get to the core argument then. The
Uh,
catalyst basically says, I'm quoting here, if you're a qualified QS struggling to get callbacks, the problem isn't your experience, it's how you're positioned.
That is a bold statement.
It is, isn't it? It implies the ability is there, but the communication, the positioning is off. Like having a great product, no one knows how to sell.
Precisely. And it also suggests, doesn't it, that in the QS world, maybe there's too much focus on just collecting qualifications, getting more letters after your name.
Yeah, getting more letters after your name, as they say,
Right.
without enough focus on how to actually, market yourself with the qualifications you already have.
You could have all the right letters, MRACS, whatever.
But if your CV looks like everyone else's, a generic list.
You're still just another application in the pile.
Mm-hmm.
So enter the QS Career Catalyst. It calls itself a proven system designed to position you as high value in this market. And the big promise is helping QSs land interviews, impress decision makers, and get hired. Oh, and this bit. Without guessing what to say or relying on recruiters.
Yeah, that last part is interesting. Suggests taking more control, being more proactive, maybe.
Less passive waiting for the phone to ring.
Right. And the engine behind this, apparently, is something they call the 3D positioning framework. That seems to be the core method. 3 pillars: define, distill, and deliver.
Okay, let's break those down. First, define. What's that about? So define is about clarifying your unique commercial value and hidden leverage points. Basically, what makes you stand out financially or strategically.
So not just I manage budgets, but maybe I consistently brought projects in under budget by X%.
Exactly. Or I successfully negotiated supplier contracts saving Y amount. It's finding those specific commercially valuable things, your leverage points.
Those concrete achievements that show a bottom line benefit to an employer.
Precisely. Uncovering and crucially quantifying those contributions. That's the define part.
Got it. Then the second D is distill.
Yep, distill. This is where you take all that defined value.
That boil it down.
Kind of, yeah. You craft it into your communication tools.
Yeah.
So a killer CV, LinkedIn profile, and cover letter. The things that actually open doors and get responses.
Makes total sense. You can be valuable, but if your CV or LinkedIn doesn't scream that value.
You won't even get a look in. It's that first impression, isn't it?
Absolutely. These documents need to be sharp, focused, highlighting achievements using strong verbs.
Quantifying where possible. Not just cost control, but reduce project spend by 15% through new cost control measures. Big difference.
Huge difference. Okay, so define, distill, and the third D.
Deliver. This one's all about the interview stage.
Ah, the performance.
You could say that. It's about mastering interviews, using frameworks that confidently sell your value. The goal being to make hiring you an easy decision.
Because getting the interview is one thing, but then you actually have to, deliver.
Right. And lots of really capable people stumble here. They get nervous or they don't articulate their value clearly under pressure.
So these frameworks, they presumably give you structures,
Right.
ways to answer common
That
questions.
seems to be the idea. Structured ways to present your experience so it directly answers the "what's in it for us" question from the employer side.
Makes sense. Okay, so beyond the 3D framework, they also mentioned some exclusive bonuses.
Yeah, some practical add-ons.
Yeah.
One is a CV makeover review.
So personalized feedback on your actual CV.
Exactly. Detailed comments, suggestions for improvement. That could be really useful, getting a fresh expert eye on it.
Yeah, we often miss things in our own documents.
Totally. And they know what QS employers are looking for specifically.
Okay, what else? There's an interview blueprint.
hmm Described as having high-impact phrases and structures for common QS interview questions.
Ah, like a cheat sheet for sounding confident and prepared.
Sort of, yeah. A toolkit, maybe, to help you structure your answers effectively, especially under pressure. Boosts confidence.
I can see the appeal. And the last bonus.
A LinkedIn magnet upgrade. This is about getting noticed by recruiters on LinkedIn.
Without paying for LinkedIn Premium or ads.
That's what it says. Strategies to optimize your profile, use keywords, engage properly, basically make yourself more visible organically.
Which is pretty crucial these days. LinkedIn is massive for recruitment.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
often the first stop for recruiters vetting candidates.
Okay, good stuff. Now let's be really clear. Who is this actually for?
Right, target audience. They say it's for QS professionals who are applying but not getting traction.
Okay, the ones hitting that wall.
Yeah. Also, those wanting to move to better paying roles or experienced people who just struggle to market themselves effectively.
And just as important, who is it not for?
Good point. They're clear it's not for students with no industry experience. Makes sense. It's about leveraging what you've already done.
Right.
Also not for people unwilling to implement and take ownership.
So you have to actually do the work.
Seems so. Or for people looking for shortcuts without work. It requires effort.
Fair enough. It's a system, not magic. As they say, you must do the work.
Exactly. Now, to back this up, they include testimonials, social proof.
Ah, yes. Let's hear some. What did people say?
Well, there's Timu Thunadar, who talks about excellent mentorship and support and a big impact on growth, both personal and professional.
Okay, so maybe more than just CV tips.
Seems like it. Then Ed Gorman mentions being challenged to exceed my own expectations, suggests it pushes you a bit.
Helps you aim higher, perhaps.
Could be, and Kay Mitchell just says Ed is an expert, and it was great to work with him. There are others too, Kay Hutt, A. Cowie, C. Donald, Kay Skelton, Jay Lawton, S. Sadi, all giving positive feedback on guidance, advice, professionalism.
So a collection of positive experiences adding some credibility there.
Provide some validation.
And finally, the practical bit. The cost.
Right. It's listed as a one-time payment of $197.
And there's a guarantee.
Yep, 100% satisfaction guarantee. Aims to make it feel risk-free.
Okay. And just to recap, for that $197, you get the whole 3D framework, the CV review, the interview blueprint, the LinkedIn upgrade, and that 21-day plan.
That's the package.
Yeah.
So wrapping up this deep dive on the QS Career Catalyst, the big theme really is shifting focus. Maybe for QSs feeling stuck, the next step isn't another course.
But getting smarter about positioning.
Exactly. Using what you already have more strategically. That 3D framework define, distill, deliver is their roadmap for doing that.
And the bonuses seem aimed at making the practical application, the CV, the interview, LinkedIn, more effective. It feels quite comprehensive.
It does seem to cover the key bases for a job search transformation.
So that leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener.
Thinking about those three pillars, define, distill, deliver. Defining your unique value, distilling it into your CV and profile, delivering it confidently in interviews. Which of those feels like your biggest hurdle right now? Where's the blockage in your own career path?
And maybe think about this. What's just one small thing you could do starting today in that one specific area? One small change to how you define, distill, or deliver your value that might just start to make a real difference in how the market sees you.
Yeah, something to mull over. Where could a small tweak yield the biggest impact for you?